Hey, what's up you guys, Tech Reviews here with another video. So I'm doing my long-term iPhone 16 Pro Max review. So let's get straight into it and not waste any time. Alright, so we have the iPhone 16 Pro Max in space gray and it looks great. It's a beautiful phone, great design, it's got 3 cameras. We have the power button right here as you can see. And we also have the action button right here, and we have the volume up and down button. We have USB slot right here, and we have the speakers down here. We have the dynamic island over there in the top, and the flash right here, and the LiDAR sensor, and we have the camera control button right here. So the design of this phone, it's pretty good. And here you can see the iOS 26 beta. Have the spatial wallpaper of my dog. So if I just go like that, you can see it's 3D effect, which is pretty neat. Anywho, the design of this phone is pretty good. It's got a nice 6.9-inch display. It's got HDR, Dolby Vision, all the stuff that you would want, a 10-bit display, all the stuff that you would want in a $1,000 device, honestly. That's pretty modern. It's got a nice titanium finish to it, nice matte finish on the back right here. The lenses do get dirty. They do have their tendencies to get dirty, so be mindful of that. But other than that, the design of this phone is pretty good. You know, for what I've seen from the leaks of iPhone 17 Pro phone, it's gonna look pretty ugly. But overall, the design of this phone, you can't go wrong with it. It's pretty light, especially without a case. I personally rock the ESR cases, and I've had some other cases I used in the past, like Spigen and UAG Beetle. So variety of cases. I won't clear one right now, but we won't get into that. Overall, you won't go wrong with the design of this phone. So the display of this phone, like I said, it's pretty good. I'm gonna go into one of my YouTube clips right now and just show you what the quality looks like. So we go to my videos, go to my most recent video talking about
What's up,
Wi-Fi.
you guys? Tech Reviews here, back with another video.
You can hear the speaker
I'm covering the Amplitank 1 from
on here.
Let's
make sure this is at
to go over
4K.
With you guys. You guys did see me cover the Tank 3, which the difference with
So the dynamic island you won't notice when you're watching film like this in a 16:9 ratio, but if you fill the screen, you notice the dynamic island is pretty intrusive.
Natural sound reproduction, anti-electromagnetic noise microphone. Specifically for podcasting, according to their website, but I'm sure you can record vocals on here if you would like. It's got an XLR port for connection. That's the only way you can connect with an XLR.
So yeah, the display on here is pretty good. And I noticed my audio in the background is pretty loud in that video, but the display on here is really good for watching movies, playing games and whatnot. I just recently deleted a lot of my games, but we still have games like Sneaky Sasquatch that you can play. And the display on here is pretty good. I don't play any Genshin Impact or anything like that, but from what I've seen from reading online, you get pretty good frame rates on there. Games like Sneaky Sasquatch, you know, fill the frame and they look pretty good. So games like Sneaky Sasquatch, they run smooth, they look okay. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time showing you gameplay of this, but it looks good for what it is. So here we'll be playing Mario Kart. I'm not sure exactly what mode this is. Oh my god, how do I leave this? How am I in first place with how I'm driving? I don't know. So yeah, playing games on there is cool and all. So I'm going to just play some music, mainly from one of my songs, even though hopefully it's not copywritten, but we'll see.
And I'm sorry it's become this way, but I can't think another day. My job doesn't give me enough pay. Nah, I don't want to live with my mom till I'm 30. And the stress I swear to God is driving me motherfucking crazy. Face it, I'm a joke. My job leaves me broke. I can't get on stage and not choke. The girl I care for left me no hope. What's a man to do? Grow better or better? I was never a quitter. I guess this will be a walk for me to remember. Shit, and I can't take it anymore.
Hopefully that won't be copywritten. That's Tizzy Farage, which was me back in the day when I used to make songs for myself, and would share them periodically. But yeah, that's the speaker quality, and I think it sounds pretty good. It supports Dolby Atmos, spatial audio, so it's good stuff. Next, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but we do have the software. So the software of this phone right now, I'm running iOS 26 beta, public beta, so you can see how we have clear icons on here. And I want to go through this as quick as possible because this would require a whole separate video to talk about iOS 26 since that's what I'm using right now. But I will go into the customization of liquid glass and all that. So you can customize and you can go dark mode, liquid glass. So all the app icons do look a little different. They have a glassy look to it. I do prefer like the dark mode over the light mode. So if we do light mode, it looks better than the previous dark light mode, but YouTube looks a little faded. I noticed my wife even brought it up that when you're doing YouTube, it does look a little more, not just YouTube, just the logos in general look a little more faded. And I don't know if that's welcomed, but nonetheless, it does look a little more faded. I don't know if you can tell or see, but it does look a little more faded. So anywho, it says faded way too many times. So we're gonna go back and I'm gonna show you what the clear icons look like. So we go to customize, and here's the liquid glass clear. This is in auto mode, so right now it's in light mode clear. I don't know if you can see it or tell. Let me increase the brightness maybe. But that's what clear looks like. And you can go into the, I think it's the accessibilities and reduce transparency, which makes it more of a frosted look than liquid glass. Nonetheless, this is what the liquid glass looks like. And for the lock screen, you can customize this however you want it to look. Just long press, hit customize. Now my phone's getting pretty hot to the touch. Good old beta software. So we're gonna go here, hit customize, and it should get me to the customize menu. All right, so this button right here is where you do the 3D effect. I clicked on it and got rid of the spatial effect. Clicking on it again, it'll say generating spatial scene, and it made it really big, but I prefer it cropped out. So I'm going to click on extend wallpaper, and then it'll generate spatial scene again. And that's how I got my good old spatial scene wallpaper. Pretty cool. And you could also drag the clock down, and then it's supposed to add a depth effect, but I don't know if it can do it with a generated scene. So let me try again. All right, so with the generated scene, it seems like the clock can't go all the way down, being that this is a public beta. Maybe they'll fix that, but it seems that you can't have the spatial scene and have the clock go behind at the same time, which kind of makes sense because you are going behind a little bit. Let's just keep that in mind. So you can drag and drop those up here, and then you could do live photo if you have a live photo, and then hit done, and there's your spatial scene. And then once you go into the regular screen, it won't be spatial anymore. It'll just be the way that it is, yada yada. So Apple Music has a new update as well. It looks a little different, as you can see. Click on that to go to the library. You do get that liquid glass effect. I don't know if you can see it right there, which is pretty clean and polished. I'm sure they'll improve it as the betas go on. And now we have audio mix, and I would show you that, but I don't want to get copywritten. But basically, from my experience of using it while I was at the gym, using audio mix had some moments where it didn't sound good, and it just made audio sound weird transitioning to the next song. And sometimes it wouldn't even transition at all. It played till the end of the song, the new song would come on. So I don't know if I like audio mix yet. I'm sure it's gonna take a couple more updates for it to be better than what it is right now, but it's decent. It's a good idea so far. When it does work, it is blending some beats from the next song into the previous song and just mashing them together until the next song comes on, which is pretty cool. But I'm still kind of a fan of the crossfade, and I usually do it like within 7 to 10 seconds. But yeah, that's just me. The Maps app, click out of there so you don't see my location. But the Maps app, in the Chicago area, we'll just leave it at that. The Maps app, it's okay. It's got a new design as well. I don't know if I like these big icons right here when it comes to my favorite places and whatnot, and it still is pretty simplistic, and I'm pretty sure it still won't be as good as Google Maps when it comes to updates about what time places are open and just photos of it in general that are recent, unlike Google. I know for sure when I use Google Maps, there's definitely more hazard reports on Google Maps than there are on Apple Maps, so there's that to keep in mind. Right now, for my neighborhood, it still has me go through the main gate to leave when I could go through the back gate to get to my destinations, and it won't go back to the back gate, which makes it seem like it's take longer than it actually is to get to certain destinations. So I don't really like that. And Apple Maps does have this new feature where it's supposed to remember some of your locations, I guess. So, yeah. So you go to map setting. There's a feature on here you can use offline maps. Obviously we've had that for a previous update, but show park location. So visited places, this is something that you more so get from Google, because Google knows where you're going if you turn that on, and that always on location, and let it see your activity so you can remember some places you've been for like memory purposes. And of course you sacrifice that information being on Google servers, but you gotta do what you gotta do if you want certain features, I guess, and you have to sacrifice that privacy and just note that your information is on Google services. So this is visited places, and I'm not sure if it works entirely. I do know that I appreciate Apple Maps kind of knowing my patterns and routines of where I'm going, and then just suggesting that, do I want to go here at this certain time, because that's just what I do. So I do appreciate that. It will show recent places, find nearby stuff, and it just looks cool. I think I appreciate the overall aesthetic of it. Let's see, settings has a new look, so if you're doing clear, all your apps look clear. For me, I prefer the tinted clear version, and it looks really good. I prefer the tint of liquid glass versus the previous tint, and I don't know about y'all, but I do like it like that. And you can toggle this here to have more of a green tint or more of a liquid glass clear transparent one. I'm gonna lean it more towards green because it looks kind of clean, and I prefer it that way. So Apple Intelligence, to get more into that. So this playground thing, and look how hideous it used to have me look, man. Laugh all you want. Go ahead, laugh it up. Anywho, there's this new thing on here where you can use ChatGPT to make an image, right? And I've been trying to have it make an image of me with ChatGPT, but for some reason it won't do it. It'll say creating image with ChatGPT, and then it won't do it. So I don't know if that's a bug, or if it's still loading, or if it'll take forever to do it, or if I need ChatGPT Plus to do it. But I know you don't need Plus to generate a couple images, and then eventually you'll have your limit. But to generate an image or two, it usually doesn't take that long. So I don't know why it's doing that, or why I'm not allowed to do that. Maybe if I take myself out and just do some generic person with ChatGPT, maybe it'll do it. Maybe it can't do an actual person. So let's try that. So I don't know, the ChatGPT thing's just not working right now. And that's okay because it's public beta 1 and I get it, but whatever. But you can still generate images not using ChatGPT. And I think the animations, even for myself, have improved when it comes to this. So if it's me, like in a fantasy world, Starry Night, it will generate a decent animation versus what it did in the past. Because in the past, it was just atrociously terrible. But now it seems like it generates better images, which I appreciate. It does look a little better compared to before. It was just straight garbage, and I don't know what it was trying to do. But nonetheless, it's not terrible. I'm not mad at it at all. So save image, I saved it. I'm gonna go to my photos and see how that ended up looking. I thought we saved the image, maybe we didn't. Did I hit the share button? Save image. Okay. All right, here we go. And here's the image that it came up with. So it looks a little better, looks more like me, and I guess this image playground is a little bit more usable, but I still won't be playing with it too much. Not sure if there's any changes to iMovie since that's a native Apple app. No, that's all the same. Let's see here. Everything else just has like that clean liquid glass aesthetic. Safari looks different. I don't know if we can go to all tabs. Let's go to this Verge website. So Safari is different. You have your liquid glass stuff down here. You have click the 3 buttons, new tab, private tab, bookmarks. Click on bookmarks. That generally looks the same. It looks a little different. Everything just looks cleaner. If it's an Apple app, it just looks cleaner and it has a more minimalistic look. So Siri is still the same. It's not more advanced than what it was before in iOS 18. And it's probably gonna stay that way until whatever. So I spent 10 minutes talking about the software. I'm sorry, but there's a lot to cover when it comes to the software. Lastly, I'll cover the camera control button. I only use it to launch the camera app, and that's literally it. I don't do any of this because that takes forever to mess with. If you want to just capture the moment quickly, just use the buttons on the screen. Action button I use for ChatGPT on the fly, and that's basically it. And this phone is really heating up because of the beta and the stuff running in the background, which sucks. I knew this would happen because betas, my experience of using them and trying them, the phone heats up, but man, this thing is getting hot. All right, so we talked about software, the design, the display, the speakers. Lastly, I want to get into the cameras and then why I just love using the iPhone and the experience. So the cameras, there's not much to talk about here. We have a 48 megapixel wide, 48 megapixel ultra wide, and 12 megapixel telephoto, which should be a 48 megapixel telephoto with a new phone. The front facing cameras, I believe 12 megapixels, soon to be 24. And you really can't go wrong with these cameras. I'll just leave photo samples and video samples after my little quick snippet about it, but you can't go wrong here. Portrait mode is great and natural looking. You can have the photo styles or whatever. You can do whatever you want with it. It's not baked in. You can change it after the fact, before the fact. You can make your photos however you want them to look. You can make them like Samsung photos. You can make it like Google photos. And that's the perk of the iPhone, is that you can do that baked in the native camera app and just make it however you want it to be. One of the reasons why I keep the iPhone is because of its videography and photography, because I just like it. Other people may not like it, may not be their cup of tea, but I prefer it when it comes to capturing important memories to me, such as my pets. Because I love them to death and I want them to always look good. Like my dog's just sitting here and he looks adorable. I'm going to go into 1x just to look at him. Got it in 48 megapixel mode. For some reason it used night mode, even though it's pretty bright in here. And look at him. Look how cute. It's a nice photo. It looks a little over sharpened, but I could touch it up a bit. He looks good. I love him. And I think my cat's behind me, sleeping in his little cat TV box. So we'll capture that moment. And look at him. He's cute. I don't know if you can see him. Yeah. All right. So there's my guy. Cute. I'm gonna zoom in on him. So yeah, I love this phone for capturing those moments. Even video on here is like top notch. We all know iPhone's king of video. So I'll leave some photos and videos for you to look at and conclude with why I enjoy using the iPhone and how it's held up. So battery life on here, the holding up part sucks. It's good in the beginning, it's great, it lasts a long time. However, towards the end, especially when you're in a hot environment, the heat and battery do not go together, it just degrades. This battery, I'm in over 400 cycles now because I've had to charge my phone multiple times a day when the battery started going below 95%. Yes, below 95%, it starts sucking really bad. So I'm a power user, I use my camera a lot, I use not really that intensive apps, just a lot of email, social media, editing, video editing, photo editing, and all that stuff. But yeah, battery on here after 95% just sucked. It kept going downhill. In the beginning, I really was optimistic. It was looking better than the 15 Pro Max, but then it started really draining on me, and now it kind of sucks. So I don't know what to do about that, and it's whatever, I guess. But hopefully the iPhone 17 Pro is better, but I know they don't have that silicon battery, so I don't know, man. I wish the battery was better. It would be the greatest experience ever. The battery just was better, and they maybe had a better vapor cooling chamber to keep it cool when it was hot. But other than that, the experience on this phone's been great. The typical cliche stuff that most Apple fanboys talk about is iMessage, FaceTime, AirDrop. Being that I have a lot of Apple products, it just works for me. If I had just the iPhone and the Windows computer and just other things that weren't Apple and just used Google TV and didn't have an Apple TV box and didn't have an iPad and had like a Samsung tablet or something, then yes, it'd be easier to just, mix and match and all that stuff. But since I've invested a lot of money over the years on Apple products, eventually just having a whole ecosystem, AirPods Pro 2, Beats, headphones, which are friendly with both ecosystems, Apple TV Plus, AirPlay speakers, the TVs are AirPlay compatible, my LG C2 monitor behind me, TV monitor, whatever, AirPlay compatible, soundbars, AirPlay compatible. These little Dio Node speakers are AirPlay compatible that I got sent over to me that I made a video about. So everything is great. With like a Samsung or Google phone, I couldn't AirPlay all those speakers in a group together, which is something that is cool because I could have audio in every room in the house when I'm cleaning the house and just jam out everywhere in the household without missing a beat. If I had another Android phone, I would have to rely on one speaker at a time, which would not be that ideal. So, and then with this, I can just dip into Google services if I want to. I can use Google Gemini on here, and I could use it to schedule stuff in my Google Calendar, which is synced up with my iCloud calendar. So it all works out. The iPhone's pretty much like the top-notch thing. You can do a lot of things on here. Just the only downside is you can't do native stuff with Gemini or ChatGPT to integrate with your schedules and other things due to the whole privacy in the walled garden. But other than that, the experience with the phone's been great. FaceTiming, AirPlay, AirDrop, everything just being on the iCloud together, accessible, easy access, using the remote on here for the TV, Apple TV. It just all syncs up and it works. So that's why I enjoy using iOS devices. And though I am tempted, really tempted this year to get the Pixel 10, depending on what they can do with their cameras. I would like to see 4K, 120. If they do 8K again, have it be native. No more of that magical video upload stuff because that takes too much time, and as a content creator, you want your stuff now. So if Google can fix that, that would be incredible because their color science honestly is better than Apple's, in my opinion, and I'd rather do that. But then I would lose on AirPlay speakers, but I could still use my iPad for that. But nonetheless, I digress. The experience with this phone has been great. I wish battery life was better, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Apple comes up with this fall, what Google comes up with this fall, and hopefully it doesn't disappoint. So this Team Tech Reviews, I thought this would be a short 10-minute video, but I guess it's long because it's a long-term iPhone 16 Pro Max review that I have been talking about doing for a long time, and here it is. Hopefully I didn't disappoint and I delivered enough information. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll talk about iOS 26 here in a bit. Peace.